Guru Nation, how's it going? So, just wanted to do a quick live stream today. Hopefully you can see this board behind me. But basically I'm going to be going through the top 5 things, in no particular order, but 5 things that sponsors, CROs are focusing on when it comes to site metrics. Obviously is a metric that matters. But when it comes to performance, right? Performance-based metrics outside of recruitment, these are the ones to pay attention to. So deviations, okay, and remember they're tracking this now. That's why they have real-time data analytics going on. That's why that's the whole push for risk-based monitoring, is to monitor and keep track of site metrics. So my own sites right now are getting monitored on all these things, okay, and they don't often tell you where you stand amongst other sites. So you just got to do your best, put your best foot forward. Deviations number 1, protocol deviations. How do you stack up against other research clinics? Are you committing way more deviations? Obviously deviations are not good. Sometimes they're unavoidable, especially when it comes to reducing any potential harm to a particular patient. Oftentimes the protocol deviation is necessary, like breaking the blind or something like that. Obviously the patient can't continue in the study, but that'd be a deviation. But some of the other deviations are like out of window visits or dosing the wrong drug, right? Instead of giving the IP, you give a placebo, or missing an inclusion criteria or missing an exclusion criteria, or forgetting to do a blood draw on a particular visit, or forgetting to do another assessment. Those are all deviations, and they track all these, right? When you report these to the sponsor and to the IRB, they track these. Not to mention, they're tracked in the EDC, right? Adverse events. So, are you underreporting adverse events compared to other sites? And again, now that they compare you to other sites, they know, okay, if this site has 8 subjects right now, and on average we're getting 1 or 2 AEs a month per subject from each site, and this site, your site, has 0 AEs, and you have 10 subjects, you're underreporting, right? Or are you overreporting? Maybe you don't understand what an actual AE is, and you're just putting down everything as an AE. So are you over-reporting, okay? In my opinion, you can't really over-report. I've never seen someone over-report AEs, but I have seen plenty of under-reporting AEs. Staff turnover, another huge one. So just like CROs spend a lot of money when it comes to retraining staff, when they have staff turnover from the CRA perspective, from the site perspective, right? A lot of time and money is wasted because coordinators get burned out too, and coordinators go on to become coordinators somewhere else, or go on to become site directors somewhere else, or go on to become CRAs, and the site needs to train new staff members, and usually the PI doesn't really do this, so that it's up to the sponsor and the CRO to do this. And if you get a lot of turnover and you don't train the staff properly, all these other metrics are gonna go wrong, okay? Like they're gonna turn south. So staff turnover, data entry, how quickly are you entering data, right? How quickly? Like you have a visit, you're supposed to enter it within 48 to 72 hours. Are you waiting a week to enter the data because then you're getting behind? Or are you just not doing it for a couple weeks, which I've seen some sites do? You should do this immediately, even if you need to get a data entry specialist at your site that does nothing but EDC. How quickly do you enter the data, and then how quickly do you answer a query? So when your monitor comes and issues a query, that's an action item. How quickly do you get that resolved, right? Do you have to wait 2 more monitoring visits before that's done because now more queries have accumulated? Sponsors are keeping track of all this. How quickly are you entering data compared to other sites, and how quickly do you resolve queries compared to other sites? Finally, site startup. It doesn't seem important, but it is. Clinical trials are expensive, and the longer it takes for a site to get up and running, meaning from SIV or from SSV, which is site selection visit, to SIV, which is site initiation visit, and then to the first patient enrolled or first patient screened, and then the time to the first patient randomized. So they're tracking all of that, okay? Obviously, they're not going to tell you where you stand, but you'll know because you won't be getting studies from that sponsor or CRO if you screw up. But it doesn't hurt to ask. If they have metrics when the study's over, you can call the project manager and say, hey, can you share our site's metrics? with me. They might. It doesn't hurt to ask. So those are the metrics. Remember, recruitment the most important, and then all these other things: deviations, adverse events, staff turnover, data entry, and site startup. Talk to you soon, Guru Nation. Take care.